Hello, welcome to Holy Tea with Ellen this week of September 15th. Things are underway here at church. Church school is off to a good start. Confirmation is going well. High school met for the first time last couple weeks ago. So things are rolling and we're just in working the plan and learning the things and spending time with the kids and having a wonderful time. So if we haven't seen you yet, we look forward to seeing you soon. Make sure your kiddos are registered for the things I'm participating in here at church, because it's important for us to know who they are and who to contact if there is an emergency of any kind. So that's why we push the registration. And so I encourage you, if your kids are coming to stuff this fall, make sure they're registered so we can have all our bases covered in the unlikely event of an emergency. There's a couple things I want to highlight today as a part of Holy Tea. Holy Tea is this video newsletter that I have decided I will be doing weekly to communicate with families and other members of the congregation what's going on in Learning Ministries from week to week. It will include reminders in terms of dates and events. It will also have an element of some resource sharing, a little bit of teaching, and just kind of a philosophical explanation of what it is we're doing around here and why it is that we are doing it. Why should it matter to your family, to your kids, to your church? So hopefully I'll have some insight into at least my why for why we're doing some of the things we're doing, and hopefully it will help you identify your why for why you're involved at church and keeping the promises we made to these kids at baptism. One of the ways that we do that is in this Holy Tea email. There's a Faith at Home section where each week there will be some resources offered as an extension of the learning that's happening in both church school and confirmation. Now, it doesn't just work for those age groups. Anyone of any age can talk about the Bible or think about the Lord's Prayer and how they pray. So if you don't have kids in those things, that's okay. That Faith at Home is still for you. It's a way of connecting what happens here at church to what happens for you at home and in your day-to-day life. Those things should be portable. You can do them around the dinner table or in the car on the way to and from things. Or at bedtime, whenever it works in your family, your routine or your household routine, to take a minute and do some Faith at Home kinds of activities. We also have a resource center in the basement near our check-in station for church school with numerous books and other kinds of resources. Those are free for you to take home. If you want to do some of that work at home, bring them back or don't, but please bring them back so other people can use them. But those are there for you. We want to always be putting things in front of you that help you build up that muscle of faith at home when you're not here with us, because sometimes that happens. You can't be here, and that doesn't mean that growing in your faith ends. It just continues, and we're here to help you and equip you to continue that lifelong faith learning. Worship Week, our first of the fall, is coming up next week. Now that is a week for church school families when our church school classes do not meet, because those church school classes usually meet during a worship service. Well, we wanted to take an intentional time out and allow that time for families to worship together. So rather at 8:30 on Sunday morning, September 22nd, church school families will not go downstairs and parents upstairs. The kids and parents and grandma and grandpa and whoever is here will go into worship together and have a time of worship. Now, we know this is hard for our younger friends who might be a little wiggly or squirrely. That's fine. Work through the hard. There's busy bags hanging up in the narthex that are for whatever age kid needs something to focus on themselves during worship. Noise is okay. It happens. It's not ideal if it's a distraction, but noise happens. Also know that if it just isn't going to work this Sunday and your kid needs to be in a different space, we have a nursery that is staffed. Now, essentially that's for 4-year-olds and under, but there have from time to time been some older kids in there, and that's fine. Worship is on in there too, so they can hear the worship service. Miss Debbie is more than happy to spend time with kiddos who are having trouble sitting through worship. But our hope is that over time that gets easier. Kids learn the rhythm of worship. Parents are helping them follow along in worship and learning in that way. And so we're all going to have bad days. That happens to everybody, but the goal is over time to build up that worshiping posture and help kids engage in worship in that way. So we give you this practice time. So again, next week, September 22nd, Sunday, and Wednesday, September 25th, church school classes do not meet, but that time is for you to worship with your family. Now, for confirmation students, the way that we make worship a priority is that Wednesday night worship is a part of what they do every other week with their small group. So they still have confirmation from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., but every alternating weeks, based on if they're in 6th and 7th or 8th grade, they will go to worship with their small groups, sometimes serve as worship assistants in that situation, serving communion and doing the readings and ushering people. But that happens every other week. They're in worship on Wednesday nights from 6 to 6:30. So all of our learning ministries hold worship as a priority. We really want people to have and make time to do that as a part of their faith life. That's how we worship God and take that time to connect with God and each other during those worship services. Also know that our 10 a.m. worship service is streamed live. So if you can't be here on a worship week or any week and you still want to take that time to nurture your faith, you can always stream those worship services online. That's an option that we have now in this new world of technology. Isn't that wonderful? A gift from God, it truly is. Well, that's all I have to share with you today about all things learning and worship. I hope that you are having a wonderful week and that we will get to see you here at church soon. And if not, that's fine. Blessings be on your way. You are still loved, even if you can't be here as much as you want to or as much as you think you should. Just be at peace. We want you here. We're excited when you are here, but we're not mad if you can't make it. It's okay. We love you. There's grace for that. Peace be with you.